There's going to be no bigger challenge in American foreign policy throughout the 50s, 60s, and even 70s as there was in what to do in Vietnam. Now, Vietnam is going to be part of America's intervention in Southeast Asia. And particularly, we're talking about the French colony of Indochina. After World War II, the French were given this territory back. It had been taken over by the Japanese. And the French are going to be facing a resistance that was really created during the Japanese occupation of that territory, and then it's going to turn its sights onto the French. That resistance is going to be led by a guy named Ho Chi Minh, and the people that supported Ho Chi Minh were known as the Viet Minh. Now, these are a group of people. They're going to be guerrilla warriors. They're going to be resisting French occupation during this time period, and they're going to be mostly found in northern Vietnam. Vietnam is a part of what they were calling Indochina, which is part of Southeast Asia. It is a country in that territory. There are other countries around it, like Cambodia. Now, the nationalists are going to want independence, and the French don't want to give it to them. They're going to resist the French with guerrilla tactics, those hit-and-run tactics, blend into their surroundings. And now, like what we saw with the Cubans during the Spanish-American occupation, the Vietnamese are going to be able to blend into the crowds around them. The Viet Minh are going to oppose the French, but the United States is going to support the French because the Viet Minh tended to be communists. Right? Ho Chi Minh was a communist, and the Viet Minh are going to be communists as well. So the United States feels like it needs to support the French. Now, the French are going to lose, or they're going to be, essentially there's a siege around the French at a place in Vietnam known as Dien Bien Phu. And in 1953, the French are going to lose at that battle. They had asked for American support. The Americans didn't really want to send troops in. So they're going to lose, and they're going to have to come up with a ceasefire plan and then eventually sign a treaty with the Vietnamese leadership, Ho Chi Minh. And they're going to sign what's referred to as the Geneva Accords in 1954. And under the Geneva Accords, the northern half of Vietnam would be occupied by the communists and the Viet Minh, and the South would have a different leader, and that would be Nguyen No Dinh Diem. Sorry, I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. And the United States is going to support Diem. And there's an immediate blowback among the Vietnamese population. There's many in the South that wanted to be part of North Vietnam. And the South Vietnamese are going to begin attacking the Diem government and the Diem institutions. These Southern resistors, these Southern communists, are going to be known as the Viet Cong. Now, when the United States begins fighting the Vietnamese War, the war in Vietnam, they will be fighting the Viet Minh in the north, kind of along the border between North and South Vietnam. But the biggest opponent that we're going to hear about is the Viet Cong. These are the Southern guerrilla war resistors to occupation. Because what Eisenhower sees here is dominoes falling. Remember the domino theory. If Vietnam were to fall to communism, then that would lead to a whole domino effect that would take all of Southeast Asia and give it to the communists, and they would link up with the Chinese, and eventually the United States would be facing a bigger problem. So Eisenhower wants to stop this where it is, and he's going to end up supporting the very unpopular and growingly more unpopular Diem government.